morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Friday. Yeah, made it through another week. The year of chaos. Whew, man, so many things happening. Matt Gaetz is gone. Now we got a new lady now for Attorney General. We'll see what other picks may or may not emerge. Rumors that Dan Bongino may be the head of the Secret Service. Looks like maybe Kevin Warsh as the next Treasury Secretary. This is a pick I'm not thrilled with. Of course, then again, when it comes to the Treasury and the banking, I don't know that I would really be happy with just about any pick. He is a big Ben Bernanke protege. He was the youngest member ever at the Federal Reserve. So he's a bright guy. He is a Republican. When Bernanke stepped aside, Janet Yellen took over. He left. But it looks like it may be him at the Treasury. We'll see. We'll keep you posted on those situations. But our toll-free number, you guys know it. You got to call it, though, to get that gold and silver put away. I told you. Didn't we say all week? Don't be surprised if we have $2,700 gold on Friday. Didn't I say? I've been saying it all week. Well, guess what? Yeah, we got $2,700 gold. No one should be surprised. It's not going to stop there. This is unlike gold markets of yesteryear. You know, and I've been around a long time. We've seen gold rally before, never like this, and come back and rally again. This is a much different environment. We have debts that are enormous. The solutions that they employed to, remember when gold hit almost $1,900? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I want to say it was like 2011, something like that. It was well after the financial crisis. You know, a lot of people think, oh, well, gold hit 1,900 in 2008. No, it was 2011. Now it ran from like 1,000 to almost double during that time. But they employed quantitative easing, things of that nature. The debts, gosh, you know, it's funny because it's like, gosh, that wasn't that long ago. How much lower the debt levels were then? You know, we were talking, 10, 11 trillion, 12 trillion. I mean, we're at 36 trillion and skyrocketing. We've got a Fed balance sheet of $7 trillion, and I think by the end of 2025, it's going to be much higher. We're going to go, 10 trillion, probably won't stop at 10. And of course, the inflation. That is all on tap for all of us. And any pullback, and I mean any pullback, needs to be bought. Because that is what the money is going to do. 800-951-0592, the website at allamericangold.com. We didn't have a lot of economic data out today. We did get the University of Michigan. That's a consumer, survey. It's not huge, but Wall Street does follow it for whatever reason. The biggest jump in inflation going back to June of 2008. And I'm thinking, why would anyone think we'd have inflation June of 2008? Right? The economy was a wrecking ball, but this is a massive increase in people expecting higher prices to make a comeback. And Jason, I think that's probably right. One of the few times I agree with this survey, we're definitely going to start seeing some higher prices, just for some, whether it be tariffs, the amount of spending. Look at Joe Biden yesterday. Hey, we need another $100 billion for this. The Treasury already saying, hey, in February we got to increase auction sizes again. Plus the fact that, remember, we've got an extension. We have no budget for 2025. This will occur after inauguration, and they'll have, 3-4 weeks to get some kind of budget done, and everyone expects that to be what, Jason? More spending coming out of Washington.
And I think it's looking even worse than the previous couple of years because people aren't buying stuff, Joe. People haven't been buying stuff all year. People are having trouble just paying the bills. And usually when people stop buying stuff, the prices don't go up anymore because, hey, you don't sell it, you got to cut the prices. Well, prices are going up. People aren't buying stuff. This is something we haven't seen. We don't. Yeah. I guess back in the 70s or some of that in the 70s, I guess. But it seems much more severe as far as people. I mean, I talk to businesses, business owners around here in Colorado. They're not making sales. They're not selling stuff. They're not getting it done, and the prices are going up. Uh-oh, right. Joe, this is people you got. And look at the asset prices going to the moon. It's kind of a spooky time we're living in.
It's an interesting time. We had existing home sales yesterday, right? We're talking about 1990s levels. Not even 4 million homes being sold. Nope, nobody's buying them, but yet home prices were up 4%. Look at cars. Man, there's a bunch more layoffs from Ford and Stellantis now because the same thing. No one's buying cars, but yet the price keeps going higher. That's kind of what Jason's been talking about. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason here on this Friday. A quick look in at the markets. The Dow's up 230. The S&P's up 10. The Nasdaq's down 10. The 10-year note flat, sitting near 441, 442. So we've kind of had a week of calm in the 10-year note. But look at where the week of calm is in the 4.4s, right? So I fully expect that to rise again. Crude oil's up almost $1. Gold, just doing gold things. Right now up $36, 27.06. And I hate to tell you guys, ain't going to stop. It's not going to stop. Not because I say so. Oh, well, Joe, you sell gold. Of course, that's what you're going to say. It's really simple. Whether it's supply and demand, whether it's fiat currencies, look at what the choices are. Seriously. Just pull your head out of your backside for just a minute. Okay? Shut off all the noise and really look at what we're talking about. We're talking about fiat money created by the Chinese like in 1200 AD. Do you know how many fiat currencies have survived? Does anybody know? Does anybody ask? The answer's zero. Zero. Not one. Not a single one. They all go to zero. And yet you're telling me this is the system we picked? Of course it wasn't. Founding fathers do this. They didn't want a central bank in charge of the money. They wanted the money to be gold and silver because they understood what would happen. Why do you think we have boom and bust cycles? Because we have fiat money. Why did they want fiat money? Well, one, they wanted to make some money. But two, their big problem was, well, gosh, when things slow down, we should just be able to print money out of thin air. And then it somehow miraculously will make all of our lives better. And guess what, guys? It did. That part was true. It made our lives better for a little while. For a little while. You know, part of the reason a lot of people out there, me included, hey, I voted for Trump because I want, my life was better. Everybody, and I mean I don't care whether you love them, you hate them, it doesn't matter. Every single president, from here until the dollar goes away, this is the new reality. My life was better 4 years ago. 4 years from now, I'm going to vote for somebody else because my life was better 4 years ago. 4 years, my life was better. Why was it better? Well, my money went further. At the end of the month, I didn't run out. I had some left over. The leftover's gone. Look at what Jason was talking about in the first segment. I mean, he literally nailed it. Wait a minute, guys. This isn't how it's supposed to work. When we stop buying stuff, the price goes down. Well, let's see. We stopped buying houses. We stopped buying cars. Right? Look at Target. Target's like, look out, we had more people come in our store. More people came in our store last quarter, and we still sold less. And guess what? The prices keep going up. That's the reality, Jason. This is what we're up against.
Well, and people get confused. They even in the dictionary now, they're starting to talk about the definition of inflation is the prices of goods and services going up. They changed in the last 10 or 15 years the definition, and it's not. Inflation is more units of currency for the stuff that you buy. More money. And if no one's buying stuff, and there's still look, money creation. The Fed's been trying to drop the balance sheet down, right, Joe? Well, the money creation has gone up the last couple of months. It's going up now. It's higher. There's more money now. They're printing. This is before the government does this new budget in March and April next year. Wait till you see what happens. And inflation is showing you, look, it doesn't matter if no one's buying it. There's too many units of currency, and there's more, and it's increasing. The M2 money supply is going up again now. It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter if no one's buying anything. And this is what inflation, how bad. Who knows how bad? Joe and I don't know how bad it's going to get. We don't have reliable information for how much money. All we know is that half the money that was ever printed in this country for this entire history was printed in 2020. And how many years does it take to actually flush that out? Look at the asset prices going berserk right now. Big money is the ones that push these things, and big money is they're putting this money into anything they can, except for what I think is the most intelligent guys. They're selling. They're selling because they know what's going to happen. At some point, it will stop or slow down, and everyone's going to sell to save their back end, and then there's going to be blood in the streets, and then we're going to find out which assets really hold water, right, Joe? When the assets start to fall back. But we don't know how long it's going to take, do we, Joe? This could take a while. And, you got these really valuable assets, but if you sell them, you can't sell these valuable assets. What are you going to put the money in? You're going to lose your shirt by selling the asset and sitting on the sidelines too long. Not everyone can be a Warren Buffett, Joe.
Well, and again, when we look at what's happening here, the dollar. Do you know the dollar's at a 13-month high right now? It's true. It's true. Yet gold is roaring again. Here's something very, very interesting. that all of a sudden now, the dollar, the ultimate safe haven asset, not so safe, right? Because when the dollar is at the highs, the 10-year note yields should be lowering. They should be going down. They're not. They're not. They're going up and up and up. And, of course, then that gives it, oh, the dollar's stronger, it's stronger, it's stronger. Keeps getting stronger. But no one's flocking to it. For the first time, and like I said, I've been doing this over 20 years. More people are saying, you know what? I'm going to buy some gold. I'm going to gold. And I'm not talking about, hey, you know what? I called yesterday and I bought that $20 gold piece special, which, by the way, is gone. That's not the guy I'm talking about. No. I'm talking about billionaires. I'm talking about sovereign wealth funds. I'm talking about global central banks. Right? These guys don't buy, oh, give me one, give me 5 20s, give me 10 20s, give me 20 20s. You know what? I'm gonna do $1 million in 20s. Okay, that's nice. It's nothing. It's nothing. They buy by the tons. Right? 1 metric ton of gold, 32,150 ounces. Right? 32,150 ounces. Right? Gold's $2,700. I mean, you're talking about like $86 million. Right? I mean, it's huge amounts. Why? All fiat money goes to zero. That's why. And like Jason said, they just can't stop printing it. That's why prices don't. No, it's the holidays. A lot of people, hey, I'm going to have the housekeeper come. Right? I'm going to call the guy to clean the carpets. Right? All that kind of stuff. And you'll be shocked. You're like, what happened? Right? 5 years ago, it cost, $200. Now it's $500. That's what it's just going to be. When you look at gold, look at what gold did in the last 2 weeks since the election. A very technical sell-off. It sold down to its 100-day moving average. I mean, almost exactly. Right around that $2,540. The charts made this hammer thing that, who knows, right? They got all these, it did this and teacups and hammers and blah, 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 blah. Skyrocketed right back. Today went back above the 50-day moving average. And now they're sitting there saying, listen, gold breaks 2750, 2800's on tap. UBS today. We expect gold to continue to outperform. It's going to gain, and they just listed all kinds. Geopolitical uncertainty. They said rate cut cycles. They said ETF inflow. Central banks diversifying away from the dollar, and on and on and on. And basically just said, hey, everybody, you better go for gold. And again, this is not me saying it. This is everybody saying it. This is something where I really think, we're going to have a different version of the Roaring 20s, the 1970s, right? It's going to be a similar yet very different animal. Right? The Roaring 20s, we didn't have any debt. Such a pittance. Any money creation was like, whoa, right? It's like, it's like when you, I don't know, I guess when you shot heroin for the first time, I guess that was kind of like the 20s, right? The 70s, you weren't a total junkie yet, right? But you had to check yourself into rehab. That was the 70s, right? Paul Volcker crushes it, we had to go into rehab. This time around, and we're full-blown junkies, right? There's no rehab. There's just forget economic policy. Listen, and this is what the central bank did. This is what our government and our elected officials did. You know that nonsense? Oh, we don't comment on what the government does. Really? That's what you're going to say? Then it doesn't work. That's why you can't have a private central bank. You can't do it. This is full-blown debt addiction, and it only ends one way. You're going to have sky-high pricing, whether you're buying it or not. You're going to have the vast majority of people not being able, what's the new middle class? I got to move out of my parents' house. I get to rent a quote-unquote luxury apartment. That's going to be the new middle class? Patriot Radio News Hour. 800-95-2 on a Friday. I got the coolest. Well, I think it's the coolest. The coolest thing that I've ever sold. So we're going to do something. It's a coin. I've never held one in my hand, and I've never sold one. But when the price is right, the price is right. I only have 25 of these coins. And believe me, you're going to want to buy one or all of them. But I'm going to pull it up here because I want to make sure. Great. Another price increase just came from the wholesaler. Every one of these coins, they're not 100 years old. 200 to 208 years old. Every one of these coins was minted between 1816 and 1824. These are a 20 French franc of King Louis XVIII. So on the front, I'm assuming it's King Louis, right? A guy, male guy, and at the neckline there's a horse. The back of this coin is what caught my eye. It has the 3 fleur-de-lis on it. It's got a crown, and underneath the crown, got these fleur-de-lis and the reef around it. But it's really all about price. And the fact that you're talking about 200-year-old and older. They're $575. If you buy 10 or more, I'll go $570. I only got 25. $570 if you buy 10 or more. Here's the thing. 10-ounce American Gold Eagles. Right now, they're $330. And I'm cheaper than anybody at $330. That's $3,300 an ounce. If you buy one of these francs at $575, that works out to about $3,080. So much cheaper. If you buy 10 or more, I think it goes down to like $350, $3,050, so almost $250 an ounce less than 10th ounce. And these, by the way, they're 0.1867 ounces, so not quite 0.2 of an ounce, these coins. They're cheaper than $5 Liberties, right? 4 $5 Liberties is going to cost you more than $3,080. I mean, they're running up right next to Gold Eagle pricing. I forget, they're cheaper than quarter-ounce Gold Eagles, half-ounce Gold Eagles, 10th-ounce Gold Eagles. And these things are 200 years old. It's awesome. I can't wait to get them. I'll have them here early part of next week, Jason. But this is just one of those things, a piece of history here, which is always cool. But on top of it, it really just, this is more about price, right? You know, we're at that point again now. We got to start talking about, can I even get an ounce of gold for under $3,000? I'm just going to throw out a number for you right now. Gold closes above $2,712. I promise you it's going to $2,750. It just is. Closes above $2,750, it's going to $2,800. At that $2,750 level, you're not getting gold for under $3,000. It's just not going to happen. And fractional gold, forget about it. So listen, it's a cool thing. Plus, they're super old, right? I mean, Liberties are 1866 to 1907. That's old enough. No, these are 1816 to 1824, 575, 10 or more, 570. There's only 25 of them. 800-951-0592. Jason, I think you win both sides. Really, it's the cheapest fractional gold that I have. And it's always cool when you talk about, man, these things are 200 years old.
So think of them as 1/6 of, it's actually more than 1/6 of an ounce of gold. So if you wanted 1 ounce of gold in these, you'd buy 6 of them, and you'd end up with more than an ounce of gold. Close to one full ounce and 1/10 of an ounce if you add 6 of them up. Just slightly shy of that, and so yeah, that $3,000 that Joe has pretty much got it nailed right there, and that is cheap fractional gold, and I used to collect hard times tokens. It's something we'll talk about again on a later show, and these were almost 200-year-old coins. They're from the 1820s and 1830s, and most of them were copper. It's pretty cool. It is cool to have a coin that is over 200 years old or almost 200 years old. So. To get fractional gold, and we're selling it for the gold price. We're not selling it for collectability that you're going to turn around and sell it as a collectible. But you're getting 1/6 of an ounce.
That's what everybody else would do. Everybody else, they would probably. You know what? I can easily see the competitors. Hey, we want $700, $800. Some guy probably paying. Oh, we want $1,000. They're 200 years old. No. You're buying it here for the gold content. All the rest of that stuff is just cool, right? That's it. And like I said, I've never held one in my hand. I've never actually seen these offered in any quantity. That's the hard part. How do you get any quantity of these super old coins? And so I bought them without selling them and said, you know what? Brittany, call them, buy them. We're going to put them on the air because the price is too good. The cool factor is one thing, but the price is really what separates it. 800-951-0592. How about this? You know what? This is another thing I think we're going to see. Texas today. 2 Texas lawmakers saying they want to create their own cryptocurrency, but backed by gold, because they willingly say, yeah, the problem with like Bitcoin and whatnot, it's not backed by it. What do you have? We don't know. You can't make jewelry, like Jason said, right? You can't make jewelry out of it. You can't put a Bitcoin into a phone or a computer like you do with gold. And they think, Jason, that this may be what will get people to kind of accept the new. Because listen, here's the thing that they know. The dollar is going away. It's over. Party's over. The lights are still on. Right? And maybe they turn the power off because you're addicted and you didn't pay the bill. Right? We're right next to, we're almost getting ready to go into the crack house. How are they going to get us to accept a new form of money? Well, Texas says, let's back it with gold. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. The King Louis XVIII French francs. You know, it's so funny, right? That was kind of right around the end of France being a power in the world, right? England being kind of the big dog there for a little while before we came around. 1816 to 1824. All of these coins over 200 years old. But none of that, man. That's just for cool stuff. It's all about how much am I paying? What am I paying? And this is the best price per ounce on a fractional coin going right now. $575, 10 or more, 570 at 800-951-0592. Take the time, added. Plus, you got something, I don't know. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. I've never seen one. Jason, have you? Have you held one?
I've seen a lot of old coins. I'm not a real expert at foreign coins, but I've held a lot of them, but I've never held one of these. And then listen, it's something, you know, obviously if we're able to sell for this price, it's not considered rare. It's not a rarity.
Right.
But right. It won't take very long for coins like this to disappear and never be found again. I mean, like Joe said, he's never held one of these. I've never seen them, mostly because I haven't looked for them. But as I've done this business more and more, I'm getting more and more acquainted with foreign gold and foreign coins. And this is you will hardly ever see coins with the dates from the 1700s or earlier. You don't even see it. So any coin that has an 18 on it, 1800s is rare. There's just not that many of them out there, you know. And it's interesting, Joe. They didn't really date coins, you know. With our history and all the kinds of different things you could talk about with the history of what is our history. They didn't really start dating coins until the 1800s. These are probably some of the most early dated coins that are out there.
Yeah, so 800-951-0592. We've got 21 now left of the 25 that we started with. By the way, gold now up $36, 27.06. Silver's up 37 cents, 31.13 as we watch and, you know, finishing out this week here, a lot of activity. Obviously, the war drums beating, cabinet nominees stepping aside, new nominees still waiting to see who the Treasury Secretary nominee is going to be. But I believe it will be Kevin Warsh. We'll see. This is going to be more of the same. So he was very close, worked very closely with Ben Bernanke. And you kind of really, unfortunately, and I don't know, fair or unfair, but Ben Bernanke was the guy that came after Alan Greenspan. Alan Greenspan, I'm going to tell you right now, he was a gold guy, wrote about it, loved it, until he became the head of the Fed. And thought for a brief moment that they were going to pull it off. We're going to start running budget surpluses, pay off the debt. Boy, I'm the greatest of all time, and I probably bought America another 100 years, maybe 200 years. Because fiat money doesn't last that long. And instead, it all fell apart, didn't it? And he got out before it got bad. And Ben Bernanke is going to be the guy where you really started seeing the explosion of debt, we really started seeing the start of ridiculous economic policy. You got to remember, by the way, he was the one, along with Warsh and Yellen, that came up with this 2% inflation nonsense. They just made that up. That was not a thing. See, when they first created the central bank, they said, oh, we're going to keep it stable. Well, stable means no inflation, doesn't it? What I can buy for $1 today, I can buy for $1 tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, 10 years. We used to have that, by the way. None of us were alive when that was happening, when we were on the gold standard. We became a superpower on the gold standard, just so you know. But he'll be the one. And now the leader in the clubhouse might be this guy that was kind of his right-hand man, very connected to Wall Street. And I think, Jason, this is just one of these really simple situations. I like these guys in Texas. They're kind of figuring out, they're like, yeah, Bitcoin, people aren't getting it. People aren't getting it. We need to do something to get them to get it. Back it with gold. We hear that a lot from the BRICS, right? The one thing the guys in Texas are like, the last thing we want is to have the central bank be in charge of a digital currency. We've got to move away from the dollar. One way or another, we're moving away from the dollar. I just don't know what form it's going to look like, Jason.
Yeah, I think it's already been planned out. I think the timing of it, all of it is right there. Well, and right. Here's the thing: is that it always comes in. It always comes in with some huge emergency. There's going to be some 9/11 type event, so that when people should be looking at, oh, look at this trap, it's going to be too late. You know, don't trust these markets. Don't trust these stocks and these bitcoins too much. You want to gamble a little bit. Go ahead and gamble a little bit. But be careful. You know, you don't want to be holding the bag, right, Joe? Gold and silver savings. Make sure you have your savings rock solid, so that if you lose something in some other asset class, you got your rock waiting for you, Joe.
Yep, the 200-plus-year-old French francs. Get them while they last. 800-951-0592, wrapping up the week here. By the way, next week is Thanksgiving. We will be closed Thursday and Friday of next week. The super old 20 franc. These are the King Louis the 18th francs. These are not the normal, the francs, the roosters. I forget the other one. These are older than them. This is going way back here, 1816 to 1824. The cheapest fractional gold coin that we have. And we don't have very many of them left. They're $575. I think we've got enough for one. If someone wants to buy 10, I think we got enough for one person. If you want to buy 10, they'll be $570. So it'll be even cheaper at 800-951-0592. But as we get ready to leave today, I want to remind everybody, my brilliant Thanksgiving backup turkey story for all of you out there. The key to Thanksgiving is you get invited to somebody else's house. Right? Maybe it's your brother, your sister, your mother, the in-laws, whatever it may be. And you know how it is. You're like, I really don't want to be there. And once you've ate and you're full, right, you just want to go home. But the problem is, your family, whatever, it's your wife or your husband, the kids, we want to stay, this, that, blah, blah, blah. You hate that. And then, of course, the leftovers. Yeah, you get plenty of green bean casserole. Oh, yeah, cranberries, and maybe you get some mashed potatoes. What do you get there? You get a couple of scraps of turkey. You can't even maybe make one turkey sandwich if you're lucky. No. You have a backup turkey. See, this is when you strategically put a turkey in your oven before you leave. And then you accomplish two great things. Number one, you're on a time limit, right? Whether anyone wants to leave or not, we got to go. Got a turkey in the oven. And here's the best part. You don't have to take any left. Oh, no, I don't need, it's fine. I'll save them for you or, whatever. Plenty of turkey, because when you get home. Right, you're going to, man, I want a turkey sandwich, all right? I want a turkey. Now you've got it. See, it's brilliant. You can have turkey all weekend if you want. Probably by Saturday, you're sick of it. Whatever's left, you just throw it away. But the backup turkey, it's brilliant, especially if you're going to a place where you're like, it's like, we get it. Like maybe you're a Trumper and you're going to the non-Trumper's house. Right, or vice versa. Backup turkey, guys. I'm telling you, it's a brilliant plan, and it gives you a time. And you can, depending on when you put the bird in there, you can set it up. Hey, sorry, guys, we got 2 hours. That's it. I got just enough time to eat and leave, and then we got to go. So run that past the significant other. The backup turkey for Thanksgiving. God bless you all. Get those Franks. Seriously, you got to get at least one of them because they're cool as all get out. Jason and I, we're coming right back with the half-empty cup. Stay with us.